Naklani Rogoshak, Stolovak, Klavak. Rook.
Slavesh.
Oh boy, this one's a doozy, a pickle, a real predicament, if you will. While most of the other locations we've been to have had enough things for us to live in, this one has nothing. I think it has a single bathtub and that's it. So what I'm saying is we need to pull out our god powers and majorly fix this place up because there are 4 Sims here that we can control, and we're going to be doing things with all of them. Not only that, but this location will be the final time we ever get any promotions because we're going all the way up to 10. And with how quickly we ascended to 8, you may figure that's not a big deal, but those last 2 are real hard. Now that we've finished sprucing up this little area, we're going to start fixing up this building across the way, which is where most of the Sims are going to be. We're going to be putting the fridge here, and the radio, and all the stuff that they'll need to survive. And of course we can't forget the espresso machine. Now in place of a radio this time, we're going to be buying a jukebox, which plays weird old-timey western music, which I think is appropriate for this location. It's not a real western town, it's just a movie set, but it may as well be one. And now unfortunately, because we can't possibly get all 4 Sims, or 5 counting Jard, we need to control to the espresso machine in time, we're going to have to buy at least 4 beds. We're digging pretty hard into our personal savings here, but don't worry, we have a grand master plan for this place. I've got it all figured out. But enough of that. Jard's first gold want here is to pick up the trash, but immediately after we deposit the first bag, we're going to call for a maid because 5 Sims will be living here and it's going to be a pigsty. Then we need to go about the very important business of bringing all the ghost Sims back to life because 3 out of the 4 Sims we can control here are ghosts. And if we don't bring them back to life, they'll just stand in the center of town haunting Red S, this land's owner, for the rest of their lives. Or his life, rather. Immediately after we gain control of Billy, he's going to find a job to help us make back all that money we just spent bringing everyone back to life because they suck at fiddle challenges. It's worth noting that Billy is a really grumpy Sim who hates everyone and hates being alive, and when he was alive the first time he might have shot an intern a little bit. But that's fine, everyone makes mistakes. It's clean slate time here with Jard. After everyone's back to life, we need to get Red S indoors and have him call a therapist. He's entirely unsure what to do with his life because his career as a movie actor kinda flopped. And at least now he's not being tormented by ghosts, so that's a good first step already. But now it's time to explain a new game mechanic. The therapist resets all of your wants, which is useful in case one of your wants is stuck on something you simply can't complete. It also makes sense narratively for Red S because none of his old wants really worked out, so he has to find a new purpose in life. Red S's first gold want after talking to the therapist is to gain a creativity point from anything, and the easel is the cheapest way to gain a creativity point, so let's just set that up right here, right in front of the window. That should help. After that first creativity point, he suddenly decides he wants to play guitar, and I mean, I guess we're gonna have to spend more money on it, but that's what we're about here. We're about making people's dreams come true, and if we have to buy a guitar, I guess we can do that. Back over to Jard, it looks like he's taking decent care of himself by himself, but he's really sleepy, so as soon as we get out of the shower, we gotta start up that espresso machine. Immediately after that, Jard has to head to work, which should give us enough time to finish the rest of Red's wants. Or his gold wants. His next goal is to finish a painting, and we just so happen to have an unfinished painting from earlier right here. It's almost like I planned this or something. Red's next goal is to fill his social motive, which just means talk a lot, and he has a tiny bit of a crush on this person named Helga, who we brought back to life recently, so let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. In case you're wondering, the reason Red has a crush on Helga is because Helga was an actress from years and years ago, long before his time, so she died ages ago, and if we didn't already bring her back, one of his gold wants would be to bring her back to life. Because he fell in love with her acting, and that's what made him want to act himself. As with most relationships in the game, it is hilariously easy to get these 2 together. And Red's final gold one is just to cuddle with Helga in bed. How nice. And that's easy enough to do, we just need to buy a bed with room for 2. Which did cost a lot more money, but we're gonna make that back. With Red's wants all taken care of, we gotta start making friends using Jard, because we need friends to get the next promotion, and Billy has been helping us make money, so we should talk to him first. Even considering how grumpy Billy is, Jard seems to have an easy time talking to him. Maybe Jard's just that smooth. We only get our relationship with Billy up to 20 before he has to take a dump, but then it's time to talk to Red. We did indirectly make his life a lot better after all. We essentially cured his depression. He owes us a friendship. And thankfully making friends with him is a lot easier because he takes much better care of himself than Billy. Speaking of Billy, we have to wake him up to go to work, and he's been neglecting his wants this whole time. And he throws a fit when we wake him up. I mean, I probably would too, but he had plenty of time to take care of himself and he just didn't do it. Yeah, it kinda sucks that you peed yourself next to your bed, but why didn't you use the bathroom before you went to sleep, man? It's not like you can't see that you need to do it. Jard heads to work shortly after, and oh damn, what has the maid been doing, because this place is not clean at all. I tried to call a second maid, but that turns out not to be an option, and the real reason this place isn't getting clean is because the maid just keeps repeatedly cleaning the bathroom since it leaks so much. Our general mission while Jard is gone is just to make sure that everyone's in a good enough position to talk to him when he gets back, since we need them for friendship to get promotions. Basically though, this involves drinking a lot of coffee. As soon as Jard gets back, we try to get our friendship all the way up to 100 with Red, but our needs are tanked from, going to work, so we gotta deal with that first. While leaving Jard briefly to tend to his own needs, we buy another trash can because the maid isn't picking up the trash, and she's more likely to pick it up if it's already in a can. It takes so long to fix up Jard's needs that it's almost time for Billy to go to work already, and at least this time he's in better shape. We still have just enough time to briefly talk to Helga before we head to work again as Jard. While Jard's gone, we seal the deal by having Helga propose to Red. This is entirely optional, but it seems like the right thing to do, doesn't it? Of course Red says yes, because why wouldn't he, and now we have officially fixed Red's life forever. There was actually another reason to do this, but let's pretend we just did it out of the goodness of our heart. When Jard gets back, we talk to Red S again, and this is going to be Jard's life for a while now, just talking to everyone here until their friendship is high enough that we don't need to worry. But that's only half of a promotion, so let's repurpose that creativity room that Red doesn't use anymore and make it Jard's personal self-improvement room. We're gonna put in a bookcase, a punching bag, a checkers set where we can play against a really smart chicken, and a lounge chair, so that way we can read while sitting down. This is also we can build our cleaning, our body, and our logic for our next promotions. This is basically going to come down to one massive grind, so we're going to be here a very long time. It's good that we could give Jard his own space to work in. Red, Helga, and that pirate lady I can't remember the name of do a good job of holding the fort. And Billy's still the only one making money with us right now, but that will change eventually. He's a real trooper though. We do need his help because we only have 1,500 simoleons to our name. He's been such a help that we should fulfill his gold once, like dancing on his ex-girlfriend's grave. Repeatedly giving Helga wedgies until they hate each other. And lastly, throwing a party, and we fulfill all of his gold once just in time for Jard to get back from work. And then he spends all night playing checkers with a chicken until he's smarter. I mean, if it works, it works. And now it's time for Red to get a job. We're okay with him in the relationship department, so we can afford to have him run off to do work. Eventually, with his help and Billy's, we can afford to expand Jard's workspace even more and build him a miniature kitchen complete with his own dishwasher, fridge, and of course the coffee machine. So now Jard won't have to run all the way to the other building to fulfill his needs before he can get back to work, because all he's been doing is coming back home to build his skills anyway. And we actually intentionally miss work with Jard to keep building up his skills. You can miss one day and then you have to go back. Missing 2 days in a row ever is instantly fired. I'm not too worried though, because we have Billy and Red bringing in money, and Jard can always go to work tomorrow instead. Poor Jard's being worked to death, but it'll be worth it. Let's check back on him in a week or so. Oh hey, we got that promotion, but we've still got one left to go and it'll be the hardest, so get back to work, Jard. In case you're wondering what he's been eating this whole time, it's been Sloppy Joes because they're pretty easy to make and they give you a whole 88 hunger. Jard doesn't have a lot of time for downtime. It's also worth noting that the bathtub in Jard's building builds both cleanliness and comfort, so it's a great solution for both. And it's unfortunate, but we need to max our body skill in order to get the final promotion, so Jard's gonna be punching this man for a while, this poor yellow man. A new development during that last week is that the pirate Sheila, yes I remembered her name, now has a job as well, leaving Helga the only one without a job. Stop crying, you got places to go. And let's get Helga a job too while we're at it, because she's at 100 relationship with Jard just like Red, so we can afford to send them both off. Jard just beats on the punching bag until everyone gets back from work, because he did skip another day just so we could do this, and they're making enough money now that we have a whole 7,000 simoleons. That's almost half of our previous fortune. In particular, a stat we have to watch out for is our social need, because if that's down all the way, Jard will refuse to work out and will just break down in sobs. Using the phone is the quickest way to fill it back up. Unfortunately, eating Sloppy Joes on an abandoned movie set for the last couple of weeks has left time for our other friendships to deteriorate, and Hector will soon no longer be our friend. This is in spite of our best efforts to talk to him over the phone, of course. Look, we may not like what we have to do here, but all of this we're doing is so we can fulfill Jard's gold wants for promotions ahead of time, so he wants this even if he doesn't know it yet. It may be worth noting that because of our promotion, Billy and Jard go to work at the same time now. When we get back, we try to save some of our weaker relationships like Farah, who's only at 52 relationship points with us, after all we've done for her too. And I think Jard of all people deserves a little bit of a dance break while we're at it. After a long and grueling road, we finally reach 10 body, which only leaves cleaning and logic for us to fill up. We take a brief break to talk to Billy. It's been a while, and although things aren't going super smoothly, he's been helping us a whole lot, so he deserves some friendship. Just one more cleaning point, Jard, just one more cleaning point, and you're clear. Thankfully, reading about cleaning doesn't eat up our energy like punching the punching bag does, so this is a lot easier. And now we've finally done it. Jard is in peak condition, and he has all the friends he needs for that final promotion. You know, Jard's been working so hard for so long, he needs someone to share these accomplishments with. Someone who will care about him. Someone who's been helping him the whole time he was and oh fuck, they're married. After that, it's time for Billy and Jard to head to work together again, and then Jard gets his final promotion. We've done it. We're all done here, except for one little thing. But before we take care of that one little thing, let's make a group meal for everyone. What group meal, you may want to know? It's Sloppy Joes. Of course it's Sloppy Joes, it's a whole ton of them. I think everyone here deserves to know how much we appreciate them and how much they helped us. I mean, Helga comforted us while we were sobbing. Now onto that little thing I was talking about, which would be Jard's actual gold wants for this location. We've been neglecting them ever since we threw the trash out, yeah, way back at the start of the video. His gold want right now is to find some treasure with a metal detector. Now the reason we wanted to fill up that marriage aspiration with Helga is so we could have enough aspiration points to actually buy the metal detector, because it wouldn't unlock until we had sufficient aspiration points. We have to wait until the ring under the metal detector turns white, and then we can finally dig for whatever might be there. In this case, it's a monkey paw which refills our bladder need, which is good for us because Jard really had to use the bathroom. Our next goal is to wear a goofy disguise from this costume trunk in the bedroom. If we would have deleted this, we'd have to buy another one, and that requires even more aspiration points, so don't delete it. We're gonna wear a goofy robot outfit. Our next goal is to give Red S something to eat, which seems appropriate. He's helped us out a lot too, and I guess even though he ate all our Sloppy Joes, he wants something else? I mean, he's accepting it, so he must still be hungry. And now that we've completed all of our gold wants, we can leave, but there's one last thing I want to do. I think this place left a permanent impact on Jard, and I really feel like his wardrobe should reflect that, so let's give him a bit of a makeover. Yeah, I think that works out. Alright, now with that out of the way, the only thing we have to do is look over the place before we leave. The only thing we really need to do in buy mode is clean up this room that we made something of a mess of by putting all of our stuff in it, all of our skill point stuff. Man, it's hard to believe how much happened here, but maybe not so much if you were the one playing it, because I was here for 4.5 hours playing this stage. A large amount of it was spent holed up in that room and grinding, but still, we got our goals done here. We got promoted all the way, made our fortune back, and we even got married. I think we're ready for approximately the entire rest of the game. Let's clear up this counter space so the other Sims can actually use it for something, since they won't touch the coffee machine, and I'll see you guys next time.